do it. Now, the law is a hammer. There's really a number of ways that we've been talking about that analogy works, isn't it?
Right, yeah. We're not saying that there's no place for the moral law of God. Of course there is.
Hammers have their use.
Yeah, we have to teach and believe that the law is important. But the law is not useful for everything. And the law cannot save. And it's that distinction that must be clear in our minds in order to live freely for Christ and His glory.
Let's go to Galatians, the 3rd chapter, 19 through 22 are the verses. Here's Josh.
Galatians chapter 3, and 19 to 22. Our series in this great letter of the Apostle Paul to the churches in Galatia. Galatians 3, 19 to 22, beginning at verse 19. What then was the purpose of the law? It was added because of transgressions, until the seed, to whom the promise referred, had come. The law was put into effect through angels by a mediator. A mediator, however, does not represent just one party, but God is one. Is the law therefore opposed to the promise of God? Absolutely not. For if a law had been given that would impart life, then righteousness would certainly have come. But the Scripture declares that the whole world is a prisoner of sin, so that what was promised, being given through faith in Jesus Christ, might be given to those who believe. Well, I used to feel very special when someone wanted to be my friend. Didn't happen to me that much. Now, of course, a true friend is special, whether you get friended on Facebook or whether you make a friend by a more traditional means. A friend, of course, why is it special to have a really good friend? A friend, of course, has lots of benefits, and one of them is that a real friend can look you in the eye and say, you know, you have halitosis, and you should do something about that before you go out. You just think they're doing it for your benefit. You're grateful. Well, we all need that. The spiritual realm. And traditionally, of course, the church fulfilled that role of friend. But I'm not so sure these days. After all, when was the last time you heard these kind of rather halitosis-sounding themes? Your moral inadequacy before a holy God. Our deserved condemnation. I rather think they're noticeable only by their absence from the agenda of much of the modern church, don't you? Here it is, the God. Whether you pass out the law morally, ceremonially, in the theological categories revealed in Scripture and revealed in our own conscience, in our hearts. That law, well, the whole idea that the law shows us, all of us, you and me, whether pastor or people, whether religious or not so, but it shows every person as transgressors of the divine standard. That kind of preaching has been replaced, hasn't it, by preaching with a probably short, practical how-to list. Maybe all beginning with the same letter. Nowadays, the message is, isn't it? I got a feeling. This morning's going to be a good morning. A good morning, a good morning, a good morning, a good morning. You're good, we're good. God bless you. See you next week. Or words to that effect. I don't know about you, but I used to hear sermons on sin growing up. But when was the last time I did? I think they're frightened to talk about it in case I don't come back. Would a friend not tell me I had halitosis? I hope they would say so. You're all now thinking, did I pack